Hi everyone, hope the lighting isn't too bad. Today I want to remind you on charging your car battery. Now let me explain to you why that is important. You see, if a lead acid battery is discharged, sulfation starts to occur. What that basically means is there's a layer that forms on the plates inside the battery, and the layer prevents the electrolyte from getting to the plate. And as this happens, if your battery is standing flat for long periods of time, 24 hours or more, this starts to happen, and the more it happens, the more of the battery's capacity you start to lose. So as you know, that our president announced last night that our lockdown is continuing for another 2 weeks. So we're going to be doing this until the end of this month. So we don't use our cars as often as we used to. So after about a week, you'll hear that your car's complaining when you start it. 2 weeks down the line, you run the risk of the car not starting at all. And about a month down the line, the battery might be completely damaged. So you need to charge the battery. Now, where to get a charger now? The best charger that I can suggest is the C-Tech charger. It is a very intelligent charger and it really protects your batteries. The next one would be these Chinese chargers, but they are dodgy and they cause a lot of unwanted interference. So if you switch them on, you might not be able to listen to the radio. Anyway, and then you get your old-fashioned chargers that simply just charge the battery and never stops. And intelligent charge is important because you can also overcharge the battery. So if you don't have an intelligent charger, that's a charger that automatically stops charging. In other words, that's got some intelligence built in that will charge the battery up and then stop. Now these Chinese chargers are supposed to have it in. How reliable it is, I don't know. This charger was, let's call it a normal dumb charger, which I then modified. Now, there's a very nice one-chip solution which they use in what I call the alarm batteries. You know, these 7 amp hour batteries that's pretty common in South Africa. And the part number is, it's a 3-legged, let's call it an integrated circuit IC. And it is specially designed to charge these alarm batteries. The number is a PB137. It's like a one-chip solution. Basically what you need is a voltage over 15 volts in and 2 capacitors, and you get a 1.5 amp regulated voltage out to 13.7, hence the 137. It's the 13.7 volt that it gives out. Now, I have modified this charger from a dumb charger, intelligent charger, by putting those PB137s in. Right, so what we basically came to is that if your battery haven't been charged and you haven't driven your car since the lockdown started, you're in trouble now. Some cars, you know, these new cars like the Mitsubishi, they no longer switch off when they off. They actually always on. It's just that when you turn the key, you give the instruction to the computer to tell the starter to turn the engine, and the fuel injection then injects fuel. So your car never switches off. It's actually always on. And that causes the problem that your battery is actually discharging slowly because the car is always switched on. You have to, whether you buy a charger or I don't know where you're going to buy a charger now, but you have to charge your battery. Now, starting the car and revving it up for 5 minutes doesn't charge the battery. I'm going to put a link in the description, what I call the Battery University. It's very interesting. You never want to discharge your battery to about 11.2 volts. Some says about 10.5 volts, but when this battery gets to 10.5 volts, the damage starts. If it goes below that, big trouble. You want to charge a battery like this up to about 14.2 volt and maintain it at 13.7 volt, and that's now where the PB137 comes in, is that it's designed to maintain your alarm battery at 13.7 volts. So what happens? I'm going to plug this charge in. I just want to see that the terminals don't short. That is important. Luckily my car's Tupperware, so it's very plasticky. Chances of a short circuit is very slim. I'm going to just plug this in, and then of course now that thing's scrolling there, but the microphone, right there, it's switch on. Right, now I've modified this charger so that I've got a switch, so I can switch the charger. Well, it says 13.5, 13.7, it's close enough, 13.5, but if I want to initially charge the battery, I put the switch on that 14.1, so it will pump the battery hard initially, and then once I'm happy that the battery is fully charged, I can maintain it at 13.5 volts. So let's connect it. So I'm going to connect the positive lead first. As the motorbike goes past, let's put you know what, I'm going to unplug it first there, because I want to show you what the current level of the battery is. Do I have it to? I want to switch it to the initial charge mode. Right. Plug it out. I know it's wrong to work with the live wires, or plug it in and plug it out without switching the switch off. Don't do that. You must have a healthy respect for electricity. Switch it off at the wall. Let's see what the voltage is on my battery. 13.1. Now I have charged my battery. As a matter of fact, I charge both cars' batteries because I know if I don't, I'm going to be buying batteries. It's becoming winter, first point. We're on lockdown, we don't use our cars, it's a double whammy. Batteries generally pack up in winter because they don't like to get cold. That's why they pack up. So if you can maintain the charge, they're going to last a lot longer. So mine says 13.1, I'm going to plug it in and we see where the initial charge it will now start to climb. Let's see. Now it should go up to 14 point something fairly quickly, because it is fully charged. I've charged it overnight. It can take a couple of hours to charge the battery from its normal voltage to its fully charged voltage. Right, so I'm going to now say that it's now fully charged, and I'm going to switch it to cycle mode. In other words, this battery will now be maintained at that voltage. So this battery will not get the layers on the plates like it would when it's running flat. Batteries are pretty expensive. This battery set me back 2,000 Rand not too long ago. I've built, as some of you would probably know, I am in the electronic trade. That is what I actually do. And one of my passions is chargers, power supplies. So I have built a whole lot of chargers for different kinds of batteries. That's why I suggest the C-Tech charger as being the best. They are a bit pricey, but well worth buying. You're going to definitely save yourself on at least 1 or 2 batteries over the next couple of, well, say the next 5 years. Only thing that you mustn't buy is the old-fashioned dumb chargers. In other words, the one with no intelligence, no pulse charging. Those things are sometimes worse than just leaving the battery, because they don't limit their charging voltage. They run up to 15, 16 volts, and then your electrolyte starts to boil out of the battery, and then your battery gets damaged as well. So you can't leave them overnight. You've got to physically check the battery every few minutes or hours to see what the voltage is, because you don't want to exceed 14.8 volts on the battery, otherwise you start to get damage. Dumb chargers are not a good thing because you can't leave them overnight. they might overcharge the battery. Intelligent chargers you can leave, well, indefinitely. The CTEC charger is so intelligent, you can put it on, go overseas, and when you get back, your car's battery would be 100%. This battery's charging cycle is different to a deep cycle, is very different to a lithium battery. They charge completely differently. It's important that you buy the correct charger for the correct battery, because deep cycle batteries, their charge cycle and their way of absorbing power is different, and giving power is completely different to a normal lead acid battery. That's why it's not advisable also to use a deep cycle battery as a car battery. It will break very, very quickly because the whole construction of the battery is different. These batteries have got less plates but thicker ones, so they can provide a very high current for a short period of time. A deep cycle battery has got bigger, thinner plates. In other words, the deep cycle battery can provide a low current over a wide time span. And that's why normal car batteries and deep cycle batteries are completely different and completely differently priced as well. So it's important that you'll never get as much power out of a car battery used as a deep cycle battery because of its different construction. And the other way around as well, if you really want to break a deep cycle battery quickly, put it in a car. It will die soon. But anyway, I think that concludes whatever I haven't mentioned. You can go and read on the Battery University's website. For those guys that just wants to know the basics, under 11 volt your battery gets damaged. If you measure it under 12 volt, charge it 14.7, between 14.2 and 14.7, maintain 13.7 volts, then you've got it. That's all you need to know. And don't use a CTEC charger. I'm not sponsored by CTEC, by the way. It's just, that's a very, very good charger. And it's almost foolproof because it knows what battery it's connected to and it just does the right thing. So if you can afford or get your hand on a CTEC charger, use it. If you can get your hand on any charger, check that your voltage doesn't go over 14.7, 14.8 volts. Otherwise, you can also do damage to your battery. You can also overcharge it. Thank you very much for watching. Until tomorrow, stay safe.